Welcome back to the Means Report. I appreciate Steve Castle explaining all things really traffic related to us and infrastructure. Let's move to our mass transit system in Augusta, shall we? You've seen those big city buses all over the road helping people get to and fro each day, and that's largely because of the work of Dr. Oliver Page. He's the Deputy Transit Director at Augusta Public Transit. Dr. Page, you're on Channel 6 all the time getting interviewed. Thanks for being here on the Means Report.
Glad to be here with you, Brad. Glad to be here.
Me too. And the reason I reached out to you this week was because we just got this news release from Augusta Public Transit saying that you are getting a $12 million grant from the federal government. I know you're going to use it for a lot of things, and we'll talk about that, but one of the biggest things you'll do with that money is buy some electric buses. How many buses are you going to get, and when will we see those cool things rolling around the streets?
We aim to buy 6 battery electric buses, and this will already add to the 5 battery electric buses which we were able to get from the grant 2 years ago. So, but this round, we're going to be buying 6 battery electric buses. They cost around $1.5 million each.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
It is.
And they should be here, hopefully, in 2027. Now, that being said, we have to receive the money before we can make a purchase order.
Sure.
And then there's a production line. And there are hundreds of other agencies that have put in orders for battery electric buses. And so we just have to join that production line when we actually are able to get the purchase order in to Gillig, which is based in San Francisco.
Do you like the buses that you have, those 5 that you mentioned? Are they running okay?
We haven't received those yet. Again,
you don't have those yet?
No,
okay.
They're coming at the end of 2025.
Gotcha.
So there's a process. The award is made. Maybe a year will go past before the funds are released. And then another year goes past before the buses are actually in Augusta.
All right, so where are you going to charge these things? Is it going to be at your headquarters on Broad Street, or will there be stations around town?
We will be charging them at our headquarters at 2844 Regency Boulevard, behind the Regency Mall.
Wow.
We have a grant to get 3 two-pronged charging equipment. We're working with Georgia Power, and they have given us a make-ready grant, and they will prepare the infrastructure starting next year so that when the 5 initial buses come at the end of 2025, we will have the electric charging equipment in place.
All right, so we'll look for that equipment in the old Regency Mall area. What about that transfer station on Broad Street? Are you still on track to do big upgrades there?
Yes, we won a $1.7 million grant through the Rebuilding America Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity. Now, we want to engage a consultant to do a complete redesign and reassessment of the Broad Street transfer facility. And part of that assessment will be to put electrical charging equipment at the new Broad Street transfer facility. But that's going to be some years down the line.
It'll be nice, though.
Yes.
It'll be so nice when you're finished. How are our buses doing, Dr. Page? Are they, I asked our first guest if our roads were outdated. He said in many cases they are, our bridges. What about our buses? Are they getting old?
Yes, we have some dinosaur buses. In fact, we have a bus called the Orion bus, which the manufacturer, Orion Industries, they went out of business in 2010.
My goodness.
But because of our expert mechanics, we're able to keep them on the road. But these 5 electric buses and the 6 more that we were able to get some money for this year, they'll be replacing those old buses. Right now, we have 6 new buses which came last year. So right now we're doing pretty well, but we should be replacing buses over the next few years. But we also want to expand our fleet so we can serve new areas. And so we'll be applying for more grants to get more buses in future years.
Well, if you're looking to serve new areas, I guess that answers this next question, which is, can I get anywhere in Augusta right now on a city bus?
No. The route structure, unfortunately, has remained the same for many, many years. So we are intending to get a consultant to do a complete assessment of our current route structure to find out where people are living, where people want to go. One part of town that needs fixed route transit is South Augusta, around the Tobacco Road area. Our buses do not go out to that extent. And we know there is a pent-up demand because everywhere we go, we're always being asked, when are buses coming out to South Augusta? But we are working on that. We have to get more buses and get a consultant to do a complete redesign of our network so we can serve South Augusta, which is pretty far from downtown, effectively and efficiently.
There's not a part of town y'all could cut back on so South Augusta could get some love?
That's part of the consultant's job, to tell us which routes we can tweak, which routes we can cut, so we're able to serve South Augusta with our existing fleet.
Who's your typical bus rider? Or is there not a typical one?
For Augusta Transit, the majority of our riders are low income. They either use our buses because they do not have a personal vehicle of their own, or they do not drive. But we have people from all walks of life, and we want to get away from the image where people who use transit are from the low income or from the people who are disadvantaged. That is not true, because you can go to Marta, you can go to Atlanta, you can go to New York, and everyone uses transit. We are trying to upgrade our transit system so everyone can at least consider using transit. You see, as Augusta grows, we want Augusta Transit to grow and give people opportunities of using transit. Augusta gets quite a few convention people coming here who would like to use transit to get about, but right now they can't because we don't go to all the places where people want to go.
Are you trying to raise bus fares?
We have to have discussions with the public. It's a federal requirement. Any major service change, any change in fares, we have to go to the public first and see what they feel and think about increases in fares, because increase in fares will affect several hundreds of our riders. So we have to be diligent and respectful that when we do these things, we get the public input before we can implement anything.
Yeah, but I hear, spoiler alert, we vote no. Leave the fares where they are. Don't you think that's what folks will say? Nobody's going to say, please raise my fares, are they?
But the fares haven't been raised in more than 15 years.
They have been there a while.
Everything has gone up. So if people want us to expand to South Augusta, if people want us to continue purchasing new buses, if people want us to go to new areas, we have to generate more income. Yes, we do get federal dollars, but we can get more federal dollars if we as the city can put in a larger local match. And part of the local match comes from fare revenues. So it's not that we're raising fares for the sake of raising fares. We're raising fares to improve the system, to get more buses, to get more people to where they need to go.
Dr. Page, what can drivers do to help you? When we see those big buses out on the road, how can we help make the driver's job and the passengers' experience easier?
I think road drivers have to be respectful of buses. Buses do not go fast. And we've had quite a few fender benders of cars, drivers looking at their cell phone, and they run into the back of the bus whilst it's waiting at the bus stop. It's picking up passengers or deboarding passengers. So we would like drivers to respect our buses. Sometimes cars cut in front of our buses, causing the bus to brake hard. That may cause a problem inside if people are standing. So we're just asking, just as we are respectful of other road users, we're asking other road users to be respectful of our buses.
Well, I have a ton of respect for you and your drivers and all you do. Thank you for helping our town run more smoothly, and thank you for all you do for those riders.
Yes, and we have excellent drivers. We have excellent mechanics too that keep our buses in tip-top condition. So it's a team effort. And I also should add that we have a fantastic transit director, Sharon Dottery.
Yeah.
She's a great leader.
Big shout out to Sharon. And yeah,
Yes.
the drivers and mechanics, they deserve all the spotlight. Thank you. Dr. Oliver Page, Deputy Transit Director for Augusta Public Transit, our special guest. Be nice to those buses out there and those drivers doing their job. When we come back, how you can help shape future editions of the Means Report. Stay with us.